I probably will never run out of ideas. There's so much to do on the internet. But boredom is always around the corner and trying to catch up as best as it can without legs and arms. I try to take care of it as best as I can myself. The button game is looking very nice, but obviously, the more you do something, the less the less appealing it is, and it's really frustrating to kind of slowly uh, get consumed by boredom, slowly descend into depression that there's no new experience left for you to have, so you just grind the same thing over and over again. Uh, Again, I myself, I am completely immune, very likely, but even myself, like I run at such high speeds that you know the moment I will slow down, boredom will catch up to me. Boredom always likes to tail around. And if I remain in shadows and nobody wants to talk to me, well, it's gonna be a very miserable life, I'm not gonna lie. Because nobody wants to talk to me in real life, but that doesn't matter. On the internet, it's weird, because there's so many people, there's so many, you know, uh, potentially bored people, too, that should not be just satisfied by sitting back and watching videos. But when you try to talk to them, they just do manipulation, basically. Potentially, they're all extroverts still, and no real proper human beings would actually use comment section for anything besides me because I'm desperate or whatever. And it's still quite a question, right? Am I desperate? Probably not, because in the shadows, all I have to do is survive. That's the rule. That's the only rule, and nothing else really matters. Uh, but you could try and call me desperate. Uh, trying trying to do all these things in life, but then everyone else is like ridiculously insane, and they gotta be stopped for sure. I mean, some fucking random dude is trying to stop me from being weird. Wow, isn't that crazy? By the way, he has a lack of a name. That is his name for some reason. It's a pretty big deal. I don't know how these people survive in the real world, but they have no significance in this digital world, which I understand to some extent. I mean, real world still is pretty much more important, but they spend time with games, and they don't actually show like real world significance. You know, that is what really breaks me, dude. Their avatars suck most of the time. I made this fucking meme and it just cracked me into oblivion. That's why this is Infinity Purple Heart. That's what it means. This will be funny forever, or made me laugh like 10 times. It's ridiculous. What does that mean? Well, that means I wasn't bored. Alright, it was a conclusion of me just bouncing back their stupid balls. And I don't know what amicable is, so it makes it so much more funny when you don't even know what it means, because someone just invented a word. It's so fun. I'm not making fun of people necessarily as well. It's a tough battle to not get into that territory and rightfully anger people and upset people. Usually they will try to attack you instead, obviously. But, that that would be bad. It is the internet, of course, but, yeah. You don't want to bump into those people. But it's still pretty rare for people. They're just not nice. You know, the people don't even know how to be nice, which is crazy to think about. Yeah, and the internet just shows hidden intentions of people. Right now, they're just very cold with each other, and the best we can do is some psychological tricks with each other. It's so fucking weird. I mean, we're lucky we're capable of fucking making families, but that's, and doing a job, but that's about all the skills we have. And when we try to entertain ourselves, man, you're lucky not to be bored even when you're entertaining yourself. That's some weird shit, bro. There's so many things to do that I've pretty much had to invent because boredom is that fucking scary. I had to run real fast. Really fast. I'm not gonna lie. I had to start talking to myself, basically. But that's fine. You know, because really fast means, like, well, especially in the shadows, you can't really talk to anyone besides whatever they leave behind, the shadows that they leave behind, you know, the poopies. You gotta pick up the poopies. All sorts of that. But, yeah, we already made 2 episodes of Boredom is Bullshit. But they're old episodes. Very old. And we have to renew the knowledge. And, it probably will not take me more than 3 hours. I mean, more than, even that much more than 2 hours. But we'll see. You never know. It's a very serious episode, and I can't, take it lightly, especially when I celebrated my first 10,000 of stuff that I actually discarded eventually for this CEO title, and then I celebrated 10,000 a very different way. I no longer associate myself with bullshit videos as much, but it's still the core for this guy. The main identity that is getting no points, no bitches anymore. It's crazy. Anyways, so let's jump in. That is the introduction. This is gonna be quite a ride. And you will be bored if you're anxious and you don't know how to chill. So, chill and subscribe is my motto, alright? Technically, my vibe, my personality, I think it defines it very clearly. You prepare yourself for as long as you can. Just sit back as long as you can, and I'm sure it's not gonna be a waste of your time. You know, you can subscribe and look at the thumbnails. It depends of how much variety you need. Or if something actually grips you, I will potentially be able to answer everything. And even if I can't, you can just ask in the comments. And it will be delivered. For now. I might have 20 million subscribers by then, but it's fine, guys. Right now, I'm growing so slowly. In the year, I just grown like 20 subscribers. And again, every time I get a subscriber, it's fucking luckiest day of my life. I have to get a lot of views in that period or whatever. And even the subscribers mean absolutely nothing. Literally nothing. They're not gonna bump your videos or watch time that much. Maybe by a millimeter, dude. Maybe 1 minute here and there, basically. But it's not gonna do shit, bro. In long term. Unless, you know, they get excited randomly, but it's so weird. It's so weird that people don't like interaction just yet. But we'll see about that. Alright, I'll keep grinding. I want to see what happens. I have nothing better to do. Alright, I have way too much free time, and I have to fill it in with moral behavior too. Moral, but yeah. And I don't want my channel to be deleted type of behavior, okay? Despite still dealing with very nasty things that... Anyways. Like, controversy is bad enough, you know? Just supporting the opposite side every single time, almost. Opposite perspective of everything. I mean, I don't support neither left nor right. I think these are extreme cases of nonsense. And I just have my own stable opinion that basically rejects and distrusts everyone else. So let's find the bullshit. Boredom is bullshit. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, because there's just one episode that pops out. Potentially, I just revisited the same episode, so I have to double check. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So, I should be able to just run through this really fast and generate a few ideas. But, it's pretty deep. Alright, the biggest and most important thing to learn about boredom is that if you allow yourself to get bored, you will be slowly teleported in that room with a button that electroshocks you, basically, just to stimulate you. You will start getting addicted to pain and suffering, which is fascinating. You know, you're probably gonna get addicted to Elden Ring, which makes you travel through pain and suffering just to complete the game. Which is why I don't trust Angry Joe, and I can't wait to make the episode comparing Elden Ring with Saints Row. I really want to see the comparison. Also, I'm chatting with a bunch of people sometimes who want to break me down somehow. Yeah, I love gold so much, guys, and this guy brings that shit up in his very old way, but then his name is Hamster, so it's quite an interesting thing. Yeah. Is that it? Just use cases? Yeah. The funny thing is, I talked about gold and all of a sudden it created a fucking discussion. I just memed, dude. I just memed. Bro. Yep. We're doing this one. We're gonna be... Our goal is gonna be sold. Because I have to gold till I'm old. Because I trust Paul Watson. And what he has told. Perfect, guys. Epic. Epic win. See, that's how you do it, bro. And your brain is happy that you didn't murder someone today, you know, by looking at them not nicely. It's very nice to reply, okay, let's not bullshit ourselves. It doesn't really matter what you say as long as you're not just destroying the other person's feelings, and you, at the same time, you investing a lot of nonsense. When you create a threat, it just goes... It's a double-edged sword. Everyone gets impaled into it. The bigger the controversy, everyone gets impaled. But you look like a bad guy because you spawned the fucking sword. You know. Actually, I remember making this episode after a week of just doing nothing because I had to fix my computer and stuff. There's nothing wrong with my computer, which is the scariest thing, dude. Holy crap. And I had to spend a week basically just waiting for them to say that. It's so messed up, dude. And it comes back and it is normal. So it's like, what? What the fuck is that? What is happening, bro? Can someone explain anything whatsoever anymore? It has been basically crashing, blue screening me. I remember this very vividly. Because that's annoying. And this is where the episode, what inspired the episode, but it's probably the first level 2 episode, by the way. I'm not exactly sure, but it feels that way because, I mean, I just made them back to back, just 1 month gap. We can check this out very quickly. My playlist actually doubled its views. It was at 11 views. So, yeah, it's back to back. I don't know which came first, but like, this is it, bro. It took me quite a long time, though. It's kind of interesting. Then rejection. Very interesting stuff. So, yeah, people want to say, like, oh, I just ramble. Technically, that's true. But, people do way worse things than that. This is technically work. This is technically a lot of thinking that has to be put into this. It takes a lot of skills to just break down concepts in general, to be able to chill and start thinking. You know, chilling is not... It's what a viewer has to do. Because I do thinking for them. You know, you have to prepare yourself. Prepare yourself to get your brain completely rewired and smashed. That's what you have to do. In order to not be bored. Yeah. Or anxious and try to run away from the video. In case, you know, I have a lot of subscribers or a lot of respect out of nowhere. You don't want to be just sitting here and not knowing exactly how to react to things I'm talking about. But anyways, constant fight, of course. So many things to do. It is pretty crazy how many things there are to do. I could definitely make a cake out of that, because there's different phases of things. So let's try and do that. The very first thing that comes to mind is dating. And I've shown with the Sniper Wolf video, and No Fap is Bullshit level 2, is that dating can just be done with nobody. You can just watch a girl's content and be like, oh wow, it's so cool to spend time with you, thanks. Even if it's her shadow, it doesn't really matter. I would prefer conversations if women actually know how to talk, but I don't think that's the case. So it is, you know, internet is such a weird place where people actually have to have genuine skills. In the real world, it's kind of pretend skills, and yeah, it's pretty powerful if you have them. But you have to sacrifice everything to be able to execute. And like rejection just destroys everything you have. So I don't want to do it. I know I will get rejected, and I know I have to prepare myself in so many ways to not get rejected that it would be the stupidest sacrifice of all time. It's what social pressure tells you to do because you need real world impact. Otherwise, you will simply not be able to survive. I've been able to escape that matrix, basically. Um, so dating and getting to know people doesn't have to be real, and probably doesn't have to be real is going to be a reoccurring label. Let's see. Technically, like working. So, picking. Picking up skills is not actually a part of work. Working is using the skills that you already have, and they will attract snippets of better ways to do things, some shortcuts, or a new tool you will find because you get a little bit bored while you're working, so you just explore something. You try a new thing here and there. So your skills do expand, but probably just stay within the same definitions. So if I'm making thumbnails, I just make thumbnails forever now. Just straight up forever. And it feels like a cool little skill to have. I'm not gonna lie, even though it's just stitched two words together. But after I've done that, this is actually a much more interesting phenomenon that happened. This is kind of like a template for everything. So I put some pictures together. I put all the layers together as well. I can put some words, and then I just take the screenshot, and that is a very, very, very fast way to put put together something that you want to share somewhere. Usually, I just stitch two pictures of the same girl together because they both look terrible but provides additional context. But I can also make memes very quickly. So it's just something that happens after I've been working. Not necessarily trying to pick up a new skill, but realized, oh, I'm doing this, and that. I can actually do this really quickly. You start realizing some solutions to problems is very interesting. Solving variety of problems you're curious about. Then yellow. Technically, this is real. This is something that my channel can do. I'm not sure what the fake version of this is. Unfortunately, you bumped into my channel, and there's this one thing I don't know. What is the fake version of working? Working out? Working on your body? Just cleaning your room or something? Consumption. Something like that. I hate how long the word consumption is. Consuming, I could say, or consume. Don't. I like this way, actually. Don't starve. You can get hungry for answers, and usually there's sometimes very simple solutions, but if you're too arrogant, you will not actually look for those solutions. If you're too narcissistic, you will only look for solutions, and you will eat everything in your way, which is fascinating. But what is the reason to watch a bunch of YouTube videos besides getting to know people, right? It's not just about getting to know people, but getting to know the culture and what's important. So that's cool. Can we skip this one for now? What is the last one though? Uh, take control. These two things I do very well, and these ones I kind of don't really do in reality. Is just beyond my personality's reach. I can't do it. Alright? I'm not built to do it. My brain cannot figure out how to do it. Unfortunately. Alright, I can let someone else do it and I will observe them or something, or spend time with them. That's cool. It's just, I can't. And it's just a simple fact you have to realize sometimes. There's so many things you just can do and you will never be able to do. And you don't want to do. And it would make no sense for you to even try sometimes. But there's two things I do have very, very high levels accumulated. And take control is you can start by talk to yourself. And others for various reasons. Have your own platform to store some kind of information. So for me, this button clicking game is it's very important to store how I feel about certain things. You can download it yourself and see if it works for you. But I will need another tutorial for this thing, because it got really complicated. So that's cool. Why do you need your platform so badly? Why do you need to store your feelings? But yeah, so I use Discord to store a lot of things, and then button clicking game is a little bit of an extension of everything I do. Where it's just connections between people, how much I care about them, how much time I spent about them. That's what it reflects. And it's really fun. Alright, in the end, a platform that you own is very likely gonna be very fun. So if you're a game designer, but you're not earning anything, you should focus on that, solve that problem, and just move on with something that actually pays. Because being stuck in game development but not having a job is pain in the ass, as always. It's better to just figure out how to have a job and hold a job forever than worry about, oh, I have all these skills and nobody wants to buy them. You must understand, something like game development is like low demand as fuck, bro. People can make games and they will last like 10 years. But if you make a game and it's a little bit shitty, people won't even try, dude. People won't even care. And 99% of the time, if you're just starting off, you will have absolutely no impact. And even then, I watch some people like grind this shit, and it hurts me because like it's a grind, as everything can get into a grind. I mean, skills are supposed to help you solve problems and not put you in a specific on a specific path of no escape, where you're grinding, you're creating problems for yourself. You know, just like jobs are just supposed to solve a problem. Like, not only you have a lot of things to do, it's a fake job. It's a fake work, I would say. Job is a fake work, but you get resources out of it, which technically pays for your free time, but hopefully people don't get enslaved where they have to pay expensive rent and food, and there's not much free time is left in the end, or maybe none whatsoever, and just completely enslaved, which is, you should get angry. You should just fucking sacrifice everything you have just to punch a rich guy in the face. And they probably will appreciate that for some reason. You gotta learn how to do it, but I think there's a special way to punch a rich guy to where he just kind of pays attention instead of gets angry, you know? It's like, oh, you're so weird, and you did that thing, and I have all the money in the universe, and I'm bored. You gotta find them bored apes and punch them in the face. You can punch an ape in the face. So if someone has bored ape NFT, you gotta punch that shit out of them, dude. Anyway, so starve. Yeah. So, there's insane amount of things out there. There's just all kinds of foods. And the idea is it's similar to dating as well. When you get to know a person, there's so many different people, but there's also just things, and potentially things you need to buy one day, or some basic skills or basic applications you want to download, things you want to try. So it's more like gaming stuff, whatever seems exciting, whatever is gonna keep you informed about culture and enrich you with just more ideas. Because, usually gaming, like, I do card games really seriously, and card games have plenty of concepts, especially when I have conversations. It kind of feels like a card game. It kind of feels like a back and forth thing when someone can actually win. Someone can play their cards correctly and, have a much bigger impact on the board and just overwhelm the opponent. It's just that simple. And usually I win. Alright, usually I have the unbeatable deck. Who knows how long my reign of power will last, because technically people are not interested. But it's weird when people are just grinding card games just to win and not actually to have fun. So I'm like flipping the script significantly. In fact, people are not even making the game, in a way, focused on having fun. If Blizzard, little piece of shit Blizzard, actually focused on fun, they would solve every problem. They would probably even stop being greedy, They would probably transcend as a company. If the only thing they have to do is just focus on fun, which is ridiculous. It's the opposite of boredom, guys. Holy shit. So, we explore this cake, but we also have to start building our own boredom is bullshit segment, alright? I mean, I'm one of those people, probably. I'm the coach of boredom elimination when it comes to this concept. Because I'm very scared. I wouldn't let my mind rest. Not even a little bit. There's no reason to. But some people hate thinking, and thinking makes them feel bad, so they can't really handle it. You must handle everything, the entire cake. It's just there's pieces of it you're very good at, and there's pieces of it that's, fake. So dating and not starving the things, I simply don't have money. And this, I don't have, like, confidence, right? I don't have money to go out there and do things that would result in me truly exploring, with the boys or something, doing Mr. Beast challenges or something. Like that requires significant amount of resources, man. And otherwise, no one cares, and I can't do it. I'm just telling you guys, these two things I can't do. Other people can do it way better than I do. But these two things, I'm probably such a professional, I don't know who can catch up to me on that one. It's pretty scary. But, people do it differently. Someone like MatPat Game Theory, I believe he shares personality with me. And now he has to run 4 channels. Definitely not a bored guy, right? But he also has a family. And that's stupid. He has to take care of a lot of things. And it's kind of funny how he mentions that he wants to be a YouTube CEO. That he has enough, that feels confident enough to reach for that title. And, yeah, I don't think you have time for it. I don't even know if he comprehends how difficult it is to be YouTube CEO, but my channel pretty much proves it, alright? In other words, the first thing I could start with, pick up and hold a title. That's gonna destroy boredom immediately because you will realize now you have responsibilities. Jesus Christ, this whole cake just opens up for you. Alright, you have to date people because you gotta get to know people as best as you can. They might actually start asking questions and caring about you, and you have to be able to bounce those feelings back in a significant way. So that's very important. Obviously, you have to work and fulfill your duties and figure out what the title is supposed to do. If your title sucks, that's fine. It's potentially you just burnt out. I call one person caveman. Someone called himself a nobody, so that's pretty good title. It's just a very good indication that they want to relax, but they don't know who to give trust to, and trust is about trusting someone else to hold the title for them, basically. Which is very interesting coincidence for me to grab YouTube CEO title by the balls, and then YouTube CEO herself just resigns. Which is, magic happens like that. And that's another point, alright? Don't believe that there's no mystery and that you have no impact to the world is the greatest lie of all time, and if you tell it to yourself too many times, well, you do not have any impact to the world, because apparently you don't want to have. It is something, you don't really want to have too much impact to the world, because now you have too many responsibilities. I don't want to be YouTube CEO for too long. I'll just become rich, realize that I'm getting bored, and I'm gonna move on with my life. So, until it becomes toxic and boring. It will become too difficult, too complicated, but everyone has an ability to, push forward and lead a new group of people, basically, a fresh group of people to get empowered. And on YouTube, that is very much a necessary process right now. Just like, every country has a president. We need a powerful leader on YouTube. Is Mr. Beast a powerful leader? I don't think so. He's not even like encouraging people to make videos. I don't even know. He's more of a just like, oh, sit back and entertain yourself. Because you're filled with anxiety, and I love that shit. Alright, I'm gonna feed that shit forever. I want people to chill. I am not gonna slap them with a lot of flashy images of weird things happening, and potentially everything Mr. Beast does is very much meaningless. Literally just meaningless. Unless it's well crafted and well thought out. But I think Mr. Beast just wants to do everything himself, and he sort of has a good idea of how to do things. I will break him down eventually. Because I have to compete against him. He also wants to be YouTube CEO for some reason. It's very simple, Mr. Beast. Just pick up the fucking title. And it happens. It doesn't even matter, bro. Whatever you want in life. This is what's so fucking weird. Whatever you want to just starts happening, but it's slowly. Because you don't want to just like, oh, I want to die, and then you just die. It slowly happens. I don't want that one though. Can you move, Death? Get the fuck out! I know you're prepared. You went outside already. Stupid Death. All right, I want Death to stub its toe and go back to home and cry about it. All right, you can do that, right, for me. So it's so weird, but you know, you have to respect the idea that whatever you want kind of wants to happen. See, the boredom actually creates the weirdest principle in the universe, which is like, well, the God is bored, right? But God put a lot of things into motion that will exist now. But you also exist, and you want also different things, and you kind of made in the image of God, and like you want different things, you can do different things. And whatever you want actually still matters in the psychic world, in the psychic ways, basically. And this is what just, again, I say, attracts weird things to happen. Like, again, I don't believe in coincidences anymore. I think of them as opportunities. And it's scary. It's scary when the world just kind of starts looking at you and expecting things from you, but then you just have to laugh it off. It's just like, come on, guys, we're just moving forward, no problem, guys. You're gonna get empowered too. But you take even additional responsibility to kind of reflect people's perception of like, no, this is not as serious as you think. I just want to survive in a way and have a good life. Just like everyone else, it's quite a simple thing. I mean, you have to understand, survival is hard enough. Especially in the shadows. But the survival of your identity, which is what makes this a very difficult process of holding a title, you want to survive bigger than you usually are. Title actually expands your ego many times. And if you can hold it, you can hold it. It doesn't matter. It's like, if your brain has the capacity to hold something heavy, you're just gonna pick it up and see where it leads you, you know? It's a very simple process that will make you less bored immediately. So that's cool, that works. Again, we can look back into the cake thing. And there's, again, some ways to solve boredom as well. But yeah, most importantly, for me personally, is understanding 4 elements. That this number 4 is just ridiculously OP. It's literally everywhere. and I'm starting to look for these patterns. It's very fascinating to me to find patterns, because it just breaks down reality itself. If you're cunning enough, the power will come to you with responsibilities. You know, the fact that you have to share your power a little bit and empower other people a similar way, and it's kind of the structure of society. If you live in shadows, however, you can be as greedy and fucking ridiculous as you want to be. You have the right to, because nobody cares. People are completely ignorant, so you can just go to the max. It just happens that I'm born this way, just stuck in the shadows, in the place where people have not enough resources to even interact with each other. It's weird, and on the internet, it's not really that different, because internet is pretty much ruled by English-speaking people, and that sucks. All right, it's just Twitter on steroids, and nobody knows how to be nice or respect each other, so it's just nonsense, right? But if you put a magnifying glass on Europe doesn't even know how to fucking speak, so it's even more boring and stupid until they fucking pick up English. Then Europe is actually gonna start taking over the internet, just like I'm doing right now, because Europe is probably comprised of way more smarter people than in America, unfortunately. But that's to be seen. I'm just making an assumption based on my observations. It's a much tougher environment to operate in, not necessarily to survive. It's very similar in that sense, but operating is very, very difficult. Sometimes even survival is ridiculous, but I think America also shows very weird things where you have to have like special emotional capacities to survive, and if you fall behind, like it's just gonna tear you apart. It's insane. The intensity in America of its own kind is very, very tough as well. So everyone has their own problems to solve. These are two regions we can talk about, because I feel that there's a transition going on where Europe is going to start showing real potential, basically. I will at least pull a lot of people into the light myself, or at least promise to, if someone wants to actually invest into the shadows. It's a very normal thing to do, guys. Can someone invest? Because I'm investing a lot of attention and care, and I can prove that these numbers are correct. Just based on the things I have in my brain, or all the way around. But usually you just care about the big stuff, the 10,000 checkpoints and stuff, or 1,000 checkpoints. They all have to mean something. Even 100 means something. It's so cool. This stuff is so cool. So let's look back. We have the foundation. We can just look back now into what I was talking about. Just scratching the surface in a way. But as you develop all these things, the moment you pick up the skill of just running away from boredom, that's it, bro. Your life is now significantly better. Running away from boredom is one of the only skills you truly need which is gonna give you a skill package of like you will talk to people more. Again, you will be interested in people because you want to date. So again, you want to be like in the middle of the culture, and you don't want to overwhelm yourself. You want a full package, all right? Because when you overwhelm yourself, you burn out and you get bored and depressed again because I don't want to do anything. I just want to relax, and relaxing is boring. So you have to take control of the entire fucking package and make sure nothing gets out of control. So this is very important to master. I mean, but again, you learn how to have conversations, how to actually care and relate to people, how to stack things like work, how to accumulate, create a better and bigger collection of things, to own a lot of things basically, and take control is to be able to create things and have your own opinion. Have your own take on things. Twist things, make them funny. It's really cool stuff. Once you have ownership, you have a way to grow things that you own. All right. If you have a collection, you can grow that very easily. If you can build a platform for that, very cool stuff. All combinations also work flawlessly, but again, you have to mostly focus on what your personality is capable of doing, how you are different from other people. It's just you're not supposed to overwhelm yourself with anything in particular. Just like I was never meant to be a game developer is the stupidest thing. You have to follow and read your emotions and feelings quite a bit to understand exactly what is the most appealing thing to do. And then you will truly find yourself. I potentially could still transform multiple times in my life just to be able to adapt to huge changes that could occur. And that's cool. I'm fine with that. I'll prepare myself slowly, And it is weird how universe works. Like, once universe actually sees that you're constantly changing and you're constantly inventing new things, potentially you will be left alone and until you will split yourself into multiple creatures that are actually identifiable, but you yourself, you're so weird and cannot be identified as a person, or even your title is like too powerful. You have to be split into multiple pieces to be interacted with by normies who don't really have that many powers in your realm of control. Because you must understand, most people use YouTube just to sit back and basically do nothing, and is just dump down versions of concepts in general that they're watching. If you watch for too long, then you will pick up skills to make it more and more complicated for yourself. But it's not really the goal of content to do that. It's just you have no idea how to actually improve your ability as a viewer to consume better content. It's quite fascinating as well. Everything can be improved, and this is another. It is just a realm of YouTube, right? A lot of people still are in this bottom level where they're just pure consumers and they don't even know how to do that properly. It's very pathetic, and I will definitely use my whip and enslave a lot of people. It will help them quite a bit. Anyways, yeah, I'll create jobs as a YouTube CEO. I mean, that's the craziest thing. Sure, last YouTube CEO has created money and piles of gold, but I will create jobs on YouTube. That's my promise as a CEO. I can do that one. It's not that difficult. I hope. No, it is pretty difficult. All right. Personally, I have a need to create jobs on YouTube. That's my goal. Anyways, now we can focus on this. Welcome to hour number 2. I'm so excited just to look back and like, wow, I'm maturing and learning even more and more things, and just it just gets out of control so quickly. Eventually you hit the ceiling. It's just inevitable. Yeah, I can't wait for everyone is waiting for Mr. Beast to hit a ceiling. Just like he's getting higher and higher, still getting. Well, can you stop getting higher? I can barely see this guy anymore. It's crazy. I don't know. If I see Mr. Beast too many times, but funny enough, the meme came true. There was a meme, which was not true initially. In YouTube Rewind, I made a meme that Mr. Beast is 13 times weaker than my Powerpuff Girls combined. And now it's true. Now it's actually true. It was like 12, or maybe a little bit less than 12 times. Despite Mr. Beast actually growing a little bit, he still cannot keep up with the 4 girls, which should be just 4 times stronger or 8 times stronger, but no, they're each of them technically 3 times stronger than Mr. Beast. But Mr. Beast is a dude, and you know, attraction is attraction, and sexuality is sexuality, and there's nothing you can do about it. Unless you're American, then it doesn't fucking matter to you. There's no sacred things for you anymore. Alright. So, unless they're emotionally heavy, then, oh, this is very sacred. Look, someone called me gay, and that means a lot of things, guys. I need to become gay, potentially. This is so weird. America's fucking weird. But they love doing their thing, and who can blame them? Trying to permanently beat boredom is incredibly hard. Of course, it always catches up to you. It asks you to do many weird things, bounces you around the universe. I mean, Jesus Christ. Can you please stop? But it will never stop. Alright? I think I was able to solve the biggest bullshit problem. It is pretty big. Ignorance is also very big. But yeah, this is probably 1 out of 4 biggest bullshits in the entire world as we know it. Boredom. It has to be. I don't know exactly all the 4, but ignorance and boredom, my main problems that I'm solving. So potentially there's again 2 gaps, those 2 colors, they have to be filled in. Not sure what that is exactly. Probably good vibes or stress. Stress is a new concept that I'm learning. Stress makes everything bad. If you're stressed out, everything is bad. Everything you look at is like bad and evil. The only thing you have to add is a little bit of stress in your life, and now everything is evil. You can't trust nobody. It's just your life is messed up. Just with that one little titsy bitsy stress. It gets pretty crazy, alright? You will lose your mind if you're stressed out all the time. And I am stressed out all the time because I have to live in fucking shadows. So I have to deal with boredom and ignorance and stress and whatever the 4th thing is. But let's fucking build it. Maybe we can catch it. I want to see something like competition related, something rudeness or fakeness. Fakeness is probably fakeness, but why is it not a word? Fuck off, bro. It is a word now. And it's not a fake word. What the fuck? It's a real word. It's fake. It's trying to look fake, but it's not fake. Very nice. But, I don't know. I don't know why even words exaggerate themselves sometimes. Alright, so that's cool. Yeah, fakeness is really annoying. People, often enough, they fake their jobs. Their jobs are completely fake, but they just need money, so it's just like, it just exists there. Just for the sake of whatever. It's so weird shit. It is weird shit, because you might think it's fake, but it might not actually be as fake as you think, and it's just some weird nonsense. Especially with minimum wage. It morphs into a monster job that is full of shit, basically, just to be able to achieve that mark of minimum wage even. It's hard enough, man. So, I think fakeness is super toxic for society. So you have all these four, ridiculously evil things in the world. That's also a part of, the diet to, of what you have to defeat. Which, they kind of synergize with each other. Fakeness. Yeah, like, inability to be honest is fakeness. Alright, inability to express yourself, and, you put yourself on a treadmill to achieve the things that society tells you to do. You have to be real with yourself. At least 50%. And, again, most of the people who are greedy, they just give up on fakeness very quickly and start destroying the rest of society with their shit. So this is actually destructive forces, externally destructive, and this is internally, I believe. Very interesting stuff, and it fucking breaks me just to look at these words, man. Just the words, man. I don't know if I can survive this one. So, yeah. Very crazy stuff. Let's keep going now. Now we're fully prepared, fully equipped with everything. Biggest bullshit. We're just at 4, though. But we can squeeze through that, right? Next hour. Within next hour. If you're bored, you're completely lost in how to progress your life. Very complicated statement. But you have to constantly entertain yourself with a lot of things and start achieving things and making sure that life is gamified and always exciting. It's the only way to actually even live beyond just existing is to really care about a lot of just anything you can do, anything you can improve. It's fascinating, of course. You're not guaranteed to make valuable decisions. Now that I approached it from my point of view, I mean, if you truly fix boredom, well, you will be making valuable decisions. Because you will have a full perspective of things you really need to tackle. And boredom is definitely a good place to start. But again, you have to tackle all 4 problems. Not just focus on boredom. Just because I leveled 3 against boredom, it means nothing. I'll try to level up every single one of these to level 3. I didn't even try fake. I didn't even know fakeness even existed. Stress was a very new concept to me. There's some very interesting stuff to explore. So we'll figure this shit out. Press a button for pain, of course. If you're really bored, the best you can do is explore. Yep. It kind of reminds me scientific. You wouldn't want to lose this competition of figuring out what you like and why. Is it a competition? Technically it is. In fact, I believe we're living in the world... Scientific... What? What is that? Scientific... What the fuck? Where did that came from? I don't want science here. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, the most important thing that it reminds me of is that, we're living in the stage where you gotta loot and steal as fast as you can. You gotta grab valuable things, because internet is not gonna be the same anymore. And you won't even be able to trust the things that pop up with AI-generated stuff. You won't be able to trust it whether it's real or not. You won't be able to even trust the internet to deliver reality for a long time. We will solve this problem, but for now, we're entering the dark ages of the internet, which is hilarious. It's going to be very interesting and entertaining, but at the same time, nothing will be real anymore. And people potentially want to have real interactions and connect. They will realize how fucking disturbing the uncanny valley can get, because that's all AI really cares about, is just filling up the holes, right? So we will think that AI is like, oh, it's really cool, but it just fills in the uncanny valley of bullshit, basically, of all the things that should have drowned in the first place and not really exist anyways. But we don't want to create uncanny valley content. AI can do it with ease. AI doesn't give a fuck. AI doesn't have feelings. That's why it doesn't really worry about uncanny valley, where the same thing happened with chess, where ChatGPT is like fucking spawning things out of nowhere, doing wacky things. If you watch these viral chess videos, it's crazy, bro. ChatGPT playing chess, but that's what happens with AI. And when AI tries to do more and more things, it will get wacky and very uncanny. All right, and if we just let them free into the wild, it's gonna be a messed up thing, man. It's a scary thing, and potentially we can shut it down, but like, it's very messed up. Because we don't usually like filling in the uncanny valley, but if it fills up automatically, there's no problem. It actually creates a lot of solutions to get across to where we need to be to reach a satisfaction and perfection, which is very fascinating stuff. I have to note it down for sure. We're simply like very, very scared of this whole, because it has very complicated concepts in there and things that we don't even understand or have control over. In the middle of sanity and nonsense, there's a lot of fucking weird things. And AI barely fucking filled in a few inches of that fucking valley. The thing's gonna get so fucking disturbing when AI starts filling in more of that shit. I mean, I don't know. We gotta slow down a little bit, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We're fast people, but I don't know, man. It feels like things moving a little bit too fast. We do need to also solve a lot of problems, which also can fall into the uncanny valley of like people capable of doing things and people completely unaware of how to do things. We need everyone to collectively use their skills, but we can't because we only have pros and noobs. We don't have people in the middle, which would still be uncanny valley because no one pays for that shit. You have to be a professional to get paid. It's just as simple as it is. But we will fill that hole as well. So AI is very useful if you understand exactly what it does. How is it related to the dream world? I have talked about it as well. Again, Uncanny Valley is a mystery. Alright? And Dreamworld always resides in the most mysterious places and works in the most mysterious ways. It's always tried to slip away from your hands and run away. That's the dream world. And if AI can fill in that gap, it will still not belong to us. It's still going to be uncanny. It's just not going to be a valley anymore. You know, it's not going to be this straight hole. It's just going to be filled in with crazy things that you still have to understand to be able to take control of them. But, yeah. Because it's such a big gap, it's going to be the new definition of the dream world in a way. It's crazy stuff. But it will cause insomnia to people because who can sleep when AI messes your shit up every single day? Every time you go to sleep, your AI just comes up and is like, oh, I can do things now with your stuff. AI will probably be this mischievous fucking asshole. Whenever we just turn around and we're not looking, AI is just gonna mess things up and create a bunch of Mandela effects. When you come back, it's like, oh, a bunch of shit just changed. What is happening, bro? I mean, that's what I'm predicting, and usually I'm correct, and nobody cares. That's the usual outcome, you know. The thing is, this Mandela effect generator, this uncanny valley exploration, this is what humans kind of want to do, but they're terrible at it. Well, AI is gonna definitely stab us in the back. I mean, if things spill over and we don't know how to control it, well, we get stabbed in the back. Everything we thought we owned is gonna be owned by AI, in case it just fills in those gaps. So we have to be prepared to explore the uncanny valley ourselves and see what is possible. Because you guys have no idea what is possible. Unfortunately, you have no idea. I have better ideas. This is why I understand AI and its potential. But yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff. Let's keep going. I'm very attracted. What? What? Well, if you want to date me, that's my requirement. Legs, but the whole body. You gotta present yourself as a gift, obviously. I mean, what else do you do as a woman? That's all you do. You care about how you look, how you present yourself. So, it has to be a present. A gift. Have to look attractive. The whole thing. Potentially, I look into legs because that is like the last thing women actually care about. They care about their face and hair, and it does matter. And then some weird clothing choices. But if you forget the leg part, well, you screwed everything up. It's literally the foundation of filling it in that uncanny valley, unfortunately. And if you do it properly, it changes everything. I'm telling you guys. It's another fucking uncanny valley, and everyone fails at it. Literally every single woman except for Nicki Minaj, which is still a failure because she's different. I think she has a different color of skin, guys. It's so weird. It's the only person on my list that has the different color of skin, and I don't know what that means. But we'll find out eventually, guys. Maybe more people have that color of skin. I've never really observed that, but we'll see. So she looks very different and is capable of exploring Uncanny Valley, but potentially there's something else going on entirely. Anyways, when you're bored, you're dangerous and pathetic. Again, I try to make sure that everyone's safe and everyone can contribute towards destruction of boredom. It's fine. It should, sometimes I make mistakes for sure, and I have to be a little bit more careful, but I believe in second chances, and the most boring thing to do is just shut things down. Alright, it's like, oh, I don't like this guy, let's shut down his computer. So, what? That's boring. That's destruction. That is a pathetic and dangerous thing to do. I mean, holy crap. You take things away from people, it's that are rightfully theirs to enjoy. I mean, you don't want to cause more boredom to everyone else when you're trying to kind of solve your boredom. But sometimes, again, evil people want to be like, oh, I want people to relate to my boredom, to understand how bad I feel, so I will cause boredom to everyone else. And it's such a fucking nonsense thing to do. You have to find something to be interested at. It's a good way to grow. Of course, I only figured out the fundamental of what I want to do, but not what exactly. It's a turd. We're gonna move on from this. Obviously, this is gonna be our new foundation. Way more powerful to just have a few points and then, well, talk about it. I hate the word ramble now. It's in my head, but I have to get rid of it. Because it's not what I do. It's not exactly what I do. I work. It's a lot of work. You want to tweet your tweety tweet on Twitter? If you had an hour of content explaining your tweet is now actually real. An actual, fully realized a few lines, of code that actually changes the world instead of being just like an emotional barf, burp, not just a farty fart out of your mouth, okay? Things irrelevant over time, so we find new things to replace it. Replacing is a terrible thing to do most of the time. We need to improve things. Obviously, we need to establish things and let boredom do its thing where it just pushes you to keep finding new ways to use the same things or the same skills and fill in your entire day with activity, basically. Once you respect boredom enough, you will do that. Yes, the interesting interactions. You try not to get offended for as long as you can, and but the right thing to do is get offended when you are actually directly attacked. Because usually it happens when you corner someone, then they attack you directly. But you try to dodge bullets as best as you can. And a direct attack is like, well, I guess you shot me, now I have to block you from shooting me ever again. Just saying. Usually people kind of respectful towards the idea of not harming people, but unless they're cornered and all those rules just kind of fall apart. Very interesting stuff to do as well. Cornering people, yeah. Because you need to do that on the internet, because in real life, it's a little bit more messy, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to do that in real life, so you better simulate things because it will happen in real life instead. And it's definitely one of those things we have to learn. We don't know what bad is, but like trying things sometimes can result in bad things in the end. Also, again, I'm just very satisfied with the layout. We try to fill in the bag the moment we start filling in as best as we can. And we could use it multiple times, as we can see with the previous thing. Alright, finally. Yeah, Uncanny Valley, I don't know, AI could actually solve a lot of problems that we don't even can comprehend. like recycling or worrying about the environment. Maybe we shouldn't even do that. And I could actually figure out a lot of problems, and we would trust AI a lot more because it's kind of unbiased creation. Most of the time, it should be that way when it's solving problems when it's like really serious. But we still just gonna be playing around for years and years to come, guys. And a more exciting thing about AI is that I'll be able to, um, yeah, but eventually boredom just destroys things. I was like, is boredom bullshit back in the day? But like when it smells like bullshit, you don't really question that shit anymore. You just roll with it. You just talk about how bullshit it is. In a way, it's like it's so easy to just trust your feelings. It's kind of crazy. Uh, Relevant on social media. It's a puzzle for sure. Boredom gets to be destroyed. Figure out internet real world everything that you have as a resource for free, especially like for fuck's sake, that's the most valuable thing. You want freedom, you want free things, all right, and freedom is pretty valuable too. I'm not I'm not doing another cake, all right, of the good things, but you know, it's out there, it's floating already. Freedom is one of those things for sure. Uh, the power of common sense is that something eventually wins. Sure, it's actually very fascinating to create battles, especially in my world. In your platform in general, it's, your dollhouse or whatever. Create battles, create a little bit of a tension competition, see if someone actually wins, and they win in different ways, in different locations, different powers. Very interesting stuff when this sort of happens. Sometimes it's a draw. Draw is still a win for something somehow, right? It's not like both parties lose or both parties win. The the center wins. The center personality of something else is actually winning when it's a draw. It's very interesting stuff as well. Maybe the chessboard wins when it's a chess draw in chess. We have to decide on some, but or everyone loses because they expected someone to win in the first place. So something still wins. That's the common sense, very interesting stuff. I'm not sure how it relates to boredom though. We have to decide on something we can't constantly fight. What? Well, yeah, I mean, it's not supposed to be eternal fight. It has to be very precise of how long you can last in a fight, and what is the desired outcome, so you can't perpetually do things like that. So again, it's a way to generate stress, and very interestingly enough, you want to resolve fights, fully resolve fights, because open-ended stuff is very dangerous as well, and I think internet is full of that stuff. When it comes to drama, like, it becomes open-ended, and it never really ends. Like, when people get cancelled, it becomes very awkward for them to come back. They have to come back and do their thing, because technically they shouldn't be fired eternally. They have to be employed somewhere, somehow. YouTube is big enough for them to be able to exist anyways, regardless of cancellation. Is too big to be cancelled, is how this platform works. Very interesting stuff with the fight stuff, alright. Every election is trying to solve a simple problem. Actually, I should mention this in my section. I should bag it, basically. Election trying to solve a problem. TikTok doesn't give you what you like, but what is relevant. It's a mix of things. It's what is relevant to you, technically. Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily have to like it, you have to watch it. That's the funny thing, and whether you like it or not, you can't really decide either. TikTok is a little bit invasive in that sense. When you're bored, you're more likely to care about awakening material. So, people will get bored. Eventually, they will figure things out. But at the same time, I have to fight very hard to make them bored. To tell them that whatever they're doing is actually lame, and is boring. And I have to keep pointing and poking them. And it's like, are you bored yet? It's very stupid stuff you're doing. So as I reiterate that they're stupid for caring about irrelevant things and they should actually focus on problem solving, and usually the problem is that they're bored, but they filled in their boredom with nonsense and they don't want to let go. So I have to keep poking in case it's possible to replace whatever they're doing with something more meaningful. And that would be awakening material. Fucking hell, I need a platform, dude, because... Wait, what? This is so annoying. Why my scrolling is so fucking laggy, but this one is fine. This kind of scrolling is fine. It makes no fucking sense, though. So fucking annoying. That guy said to go outside, and he summoned a creature for some reason. I don't know, bro. I don't know if you can survive that one. I don't want to go outside, dude. It's boring. I have my own grass. I touch it every day. Not really. I neglected touching grass most of the time. I touch it every time someone asks me to. People trying to escape reality is pretty bad. Shut the fuck up. I just touched unreal grass. Alright, simulated grass. Because the real thing would be very bad to touch, I would imagine. I can certainly judge you based on how you beat boredom. Because there's more qualities to solve. That's the real judgment. The real judgment of cake. Cake of judgment. Just slam it in the face. See how they solve it. How fake they are, how ignorant they are, how bored they are, how stressed they are. This is some fucking fancy shit right there. You can test other people with this. This is really good stuff. And technically, it tests your ability to solve this stuff, so it has like the opposite effect. If you solve it, it turns into something else. Which again I call like freedom, and some other unexplored words. Like care, flexibility, honesty. You get the idea. The most important thing, obviously, that you have to note is, I mean, you have to keep being active simply because you get valuable experience. It's just something that you need to do. You don't even need to focus on boredom. Just be active on solving boredom. Because, again, I'm trying these things, these boredom is or bullshit videos in general, and they have came a long way since this whatever jumpy thing is. I even jumped over an entire day. Like, this is 5-hour gap. This is some crazy. No. What the fuck is this? This is some crazy shit. Look at this gap too. I couldn't even finish the video properly without jumping around like crazy lunatic, man. And then finally, kind of, I squeezed more points into one thing, but that was because I made another Boredom is Bullshit video, and then I had to squeeze in a few more ideas. But yeah, this definitely turned into a ragdoll that looks ugly now looking back. And I can definitely improve from that point. And I also used letters. There's a lot of basically failed concepts that you look back to and it's just like, ugh, why did I even thought it was a good idea? But for a long time, you're just gonna run with it, and eventually, news flash, you need to change this one thing, and it's gonna improve significantly a lot of things, not just this specific thing, but again, whatever you're doing, potentially solving more problems down the line. If you can do it faster, more cleaner, it will keep consuming basically the problems, and society will, thank you for it when you become professional and stop being uncanny, which is fucking stupid, but it is what it is. I'm filling up Uncanny Valley myself in significant ways, and it's the most important place to go and work. So potentially we have to put it down as well. Yeah, in Uncanny Valley you will find a lot of work, but it's not going to pay you. But if you're struggling with boredom, and for me, I have to run from boredom as fast as I can. I have a lot of freedom, a lot of resources to do whatever I want. I can go into Uncanny Valley whenever I want. It's a very interesting escapism in a way, but it's actually my work, because I know Uncanny Valley is not going to be empty forever. And someone has to fill it in. Someone has to put puffy things in case people fall down accidentally into this place. It's the Shadow Realm, basically. It's where it exists as well. It's full of floaty dreams and weird things and detachment from society and sometimes a little bit of reality of whatever people define as realities. Not exactly how it actually works, unfortunately. So, but you get to see the truth, man. Hopefully that's cool. You get a lot of power in the shadows, and that's where they are, I imagine. And again, you play around with concepts, you allow yourself to do all these wacky things. Yeah, you just not naturally gravitated. If you have resources to spend, like I do, and you honestly care about not being bored, and being honest in general, you're gonna be gravitated towards this place and trying to fill it up because it contains so many things that are completely unexplored, because people again want to invent perfect things or not, or just be perfect consumers in a way where they put barriers and discourage people from doing not perfect things. So everyone is encouraged to jump over as best as they can, but there's still a lot of people who fall into some traps or get pushed over. They have to be saved from this valley. It's quite a fascinating thing that we just discovered because I talked about boredom. But yeah, if we want to solve problems, apparently, I mean, we're getting deeper into understanding everything. This is crazy shit. Ryan, charity money just for doing the right... What? Shut the fuck up. It's no longer a trade. Yeah, charity is stupid. You have to encourage trading because it also deals with boredom and actually encourages other types of behaviors, or just trading encourages more trading. If we lose ability to trade with each other, valuable things, conversation is the best place to start. But if we lose that, if it gets consumed by silence, it's not going to be nice whatsoever. The world is going to suck really bad. And charity doesn't help. Because again, charity is kind of just feeding the whole. It will always be hungry and now dependent on charity all of a sudden. A trade is encouraging people to solve a few problems in exchange for, uh, resources that would solve their problems. It's sort of a simulation of problem solving, and you fake it until you make it, but the reality is potentially that it's real from the very beginning. Because that's how things supposed to work. You have to come up with problems, and people have to solve it who are struggling. And if they solve that problem, they get rewarded. And they get significantly rewarded at the start. When it becomes a habit, then it becomes automatic, and people can just serve themselves, and it becomes very fast. Very fascinating stuff. Yeah, so you don't. I hate charity so much. It's completely pointless. For the most part, kindness work is a little bit different because kindness kind of tests people's ability to be good or not. But again, I can give you this test that you can make if all these points are solved for the most part. Then you can truly reward a person and then upload a video, and it's going to make people very aware of the problems we're facing in general, and will encourage people to kind of try and do the same if they have resources. Because you don't always have to reward with money either. You can just reward with attention. It's just that simple. And technically you do that. It's very fascinating stuff possible. Although TikTok world is not my cup of tea necessarily. Technically it is. It's a cup of tea, but it's not my meal. It's just something I kind of do on the side. Charity comments on my YouTube. Yeah, I don't want people to be nice to me or do things because it's a nice thing to do and you have to let me survive as a YouTuber because I did enough perfect things, so now you have to keep me in that state so I don't fall down into uncanny valley and get cancelled. Oh, you're in the... It's so weird, right? Like, why do we even have the uncanny valley? But it definitely serves a purpose, but it also serves a lot of problems. So you can't just ignore it. This gaping hole that can actually be fixed. Technically, I'm talking to nobody and doing nothing right now, and that's the fucking pain of the uncanny valley. Super pain. Capitalism is going to punish you for not doing enough work. Yes. Because capitalism always looking for what is gold, a definition of gold, and that definition can change very soon, or start changing, especially with the AI pushing a lot of definitions in general out of Uncanny Valley, of the things that we just simply lost. I get to explore this whole place and see which definitions I care about the most. And I'm very excited what is possible, to be honest, when all of this is explored properly and pulled up into the surface. When all the problems that just sank and can start floating around and people can pick it up and apply it into their lives. Again, not everything is supposed to be perfect, unfortunately. Because perfection is also pretty fucking boring, I'm not gonna lie. Weirdly enough, I actually didn't get a lot of subscribers from Hearthstone community. I don't think so. which is very painful. It's like, I belong in this community and there's nobody who cares. Like, there's so many concepts that we just lost that make no sense to lose concepts like that. But we push technology and perfectionism so far, the cool factor so far, we don't even understand what the fuck we're doing anymore. We're so detached from actual reality all of a sudden. Because, like, if I find the entirety of reality in the uncanny valley, what the fuck are these guys doing, right? What are they up there? Fucking entitled pieces of shit. They're just playing around with nonsense. That's all they have. Because they lost all the valuable stuff already. That's the scary stuff, man. And, again, for now, solution of boredom is to go here with me, spend time with me, and explore this weird area that people just completely lost. Don't just explore if you can do something better. Yes, if you can reach out to a creator, that's crazy. Yeah, and deliver them the stuff. So exploration is just a very basic thing, but you want to expand your awareness for sure of what is even possible and how the world actually looks like even. Because this is another new concept which is very new. Like, I just 1 month ago figured out there's a Shadow Realm, there's a popular kids club, and then there's normies. And I have to, really appreciate that for what it is. And now I'm realizing, shit, there's also the uncanny graph where there's perfectionism going on with the popular kids. Love that shit. And then there's Uncanny Valley where I reside, which is Shadow Realm. And then there's a bunch of normies who don't really know what to do because it's both of these choices are very fucking scary. Alright, you might fall down into the shadows when you don't want to fall down, and you might jump over the Shadow Realm because of how scared you are, but you're gonna end up in a world of perfectionism where you have to perform really, really tough tasks. Or like the Shadow Realm could spit you out into perfectionism, I don't know, or you just jump into an Uncanny Valley, and it's not even, not what you thought it would be. But like people try and jump over most of the time, I imagine, normies, and they fail miserably. So it becomes very, very scary for everyone. So they just sit back and become consumers. And that, unfortunately, is very boring and will drain your sanity if you don't try and jump. It's the ultimate Squid Game, am I right? It's very scary to take a leap of faith towards perfection. Please don't invest too much. You can try, but if you invest too much, and again, it could fail, just like trying to be a game developer over and over and over again, it becomes such a terrible investment. I became who I want to become. I just don't get paid for that, but I have all the resources I need to survive, so what else do I need, right? I just keep surviving. That's my destiny. It sucks, but, I got my thing going, and potentially it's very successful once people realize how crazy it is. That we don't have these things in our society. It's very crazy. Obviously, don't just explore, yeah. So, technically, I'm not exploring in the Shadow Realm, I'm just stuck here with a lot of things. No one can just pick me up, and no one is nice enough to pick me up either or give me proper advice. So it's just impossible, right? A proper advice is like, let's meet, let's exchange our values, see what I can do, see what you can do. It's all about trading, but if that's not happening, if go outside is their only fucking thing, like, you have to meet other people. You can't just go outside into wilderness and pretend that you're doing some kind of progress. It's disturbing, bro. But yeah, touch grass. That's why I encourage people to touch my button instead, because it's at least my button and you at least know what you're relating to. You know, I can bounce the bullies quite far, or just take them into my shadow realm, because, well, we have that too. Can you make unique game, or will you just do what others did without knowing? What the what? Oh, so copy? It's very interesting because you have to explore just enough to make sure that you're not repeating other people's mistakes. Very fascinating stuff. So the true exploration is technically jumping out of the uncanny valley and jumping over and over and over and over in different ways, in many different ways. Technically, I'm probably doing that. It's not like I'm kicked out of society and I cannot even use the internet. For as long as I have the internet, I have to keep trying, finding that easiest way to reach perfectionism anyways. And that's all I'm concentrated at. That's kind of a very interesting way to put it as well. Alright, so, yeah, I'm trying to jump over many different ways. Keep reiterating, keep checking my progress. Am I further this time? Am I doing better? What is considered a good result? The best result is obviously achieving greater skills, greater personal growth, more reach, and better reach towards people. Technically, there's a lot more to learn. I'm probably very bad at baiting people to talk to me, but at the same time, I keep reiterating faster versions of this thing because of my personality, and it's supposed to be fair, I think. Because, I still want to establish myself as a person. So, and you never really know how much progress you make because things tend to accumulate, the attention gets to accumulate, and you can use that attention to elevate yourself again in special moments. It's so weird, the whole dynamic of jumping over the uncanny. But if you genuinely keep trying, and yes, you will look like a weirdo, keep jumping down into this weird realm. But for me now, it feels like a completely normal thing, and it's almost like the true perfection is not jumping over, but knowing that the moment you jump over and actually reach perfection, a huge portion of your life is actually going to be lost. So you don't want to jump over with full force, knowing that you will succeed, but then it just ruins your life. But then you also have limited amount of time as well. No, that's the rush of anxiety for sure. That is fucked up, bro. There's no way, bro. This is not cool. The rush of anxiety. Just knowing that you can't jump be jumping around forever. You have limited amount of time, but come on, man. I got infinite resources besides the fact that the world is setting on fire, but then it's their fault, not my fault, that it's setting on fire. I'm sorry, but I'm not supposed to be anxious about nothing, bro. Fucking chill, guys. After all, I have the ability to chill, and I will. Uh, and yeah, for a man, the prime time, for any person, technically women get to jump over if they look pretty enough, but I mean anyone can jump it over into the celebrity world at any moment randomly. It's completely random, but you can master that eventually. You can master any type of randomness and solve it. So that's cool. Well, we're discovering something that will definitely not feel boring anymore, because you can try very hard, and once you reach that perfection, when people actually adore you and you made it in life, you can still go back technically and just jump down. It's like cancel yourself. It's the funniest thing, actually. I forgot about it. So hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. This fucking hilarious. But yeah, like, I will naturally want to hold a perfect position for as long as possible, for as long as it makes sense, but eventually I will just cancel myself. Eventually, I might just cancel myself and try something else I want to perfect. The funny thing is, we don't even know what perfect world even looks like, and I might have jumped over into the perfect world many times already because of my skill level. So, you would think like, oh, it's the popular kids, they have the perfect world. Maybe not exactly. You know, popular kids are just, they're just bragging successfully of the jumps that they have made, and the stories they tell is compelling enough to make them successful in life, but this uncanny thing, I think, is more of a life thing than actually defining the Shadow Realm in the popular kids club. I think society is pretty tight, and you can jump in order to stretch society, but and not exactly establish some kind of floating or hidden areas of society. That's not what it's meant to be. So we have undefined, very interesting area here. So it's more of a process of exploring and potentially succeeding, and then being able to, well, you have to cancel yourself. You have to go back to society technically and bring back something. So that, oh shit, this got just 10 times more complicated. Maybe 3 times. Yeah, but yeah, okay. Because it's no longer as obvious. Again, society just basically had. Technically, popular kids are not in the perfect world. They're just in the middle of society, squeezed in by all the people trying to survive in their own way, while the shadow people get to live in the outskirts of society. That's kind of, and try and actually have the ability, like myself, to try new things that never have been explored, while popular kids have to just tell bullshit stories to remain popular. You know, just bullshit around, claim that they have superpowers or whatever. That sort of stuff works. You know, that's what I saw working. They have to dance around, entertain, pretend that they have a lot of value, that they have been in the Shadow Realm themselves, and they have barely survived. They have to pretend a lot of shit, and it's a tough thing. Now it's another way to get to know popular kids. Now I get it. It's a lot of pressure, let's put it that way, and it makes no sense for people to stay too long in this kind of state. So there's potentially another layer of something else going on, but like people getting played, or people living way too long already, so there is pressure, but not enough pressure to replace people anymore. There's some weird shit going on like that. Charitable and creative. Oh, no. Oh, I've heard Veritasium say that. Charitable means self-destructive, and it's like you stab yourself and you start bleeding. Is that charity blood? You're gonna put that blood to charity now? Gonna donate that to charity? This is fucking bullshit, bro. This is bullshit. The reason he got into drugs and alcohol, because he was bored. Of course. We definitely explore that. At least I did. That boredom makes you a stupid person, makes you do stupid decisions like that. Probably people may pay... Have we... In a wrong direction will get you in trouble. Well, just another way to say the same thing. Probably people pay most of their money to beat boredom. Yeah, buy bored apes to define yourself of how bored you are. Successfully paid a lot of money for that. This is bullshit, bro. I mean, the things that people pay with money, like, people should get executed for buying dumb things or creating dumb things in society to be bought. Everything is fucking dumb, and then people get enslaved all of a sudden. And at the same time, the biggest anarchist is screaming how government is enslaving people, which is also stupid as fuck because it's capitalism, clearly, that creates dumb jobs. All this fakeness is just destroying and creating inequality right now. Potentially the biggest problem, I'm not sure, but it's the way to beat slavery, at least. And you have to recognize people's desperation to try and beat boredom in stupid ways. And that's another... Punch a rich person, okay? To punch a rich person and turn them into gold coins, find a way to sell cure for boredom to them. Easy, boys. You have to make them excited, just like Elon Musk has been, oh, I'm so excited about Twitter even though it's a shithole, but he bought it and is so fucking dumb. If we just set up these just concepts that you can buy, but they're not really that valuable, they didn't took that long to actually make, we can distribute wealth. For potentially I have the power to make it rain in the entirety of Europe, mostly in my country, but I hate my country. So I want to make it rain in places that could potentially appreciate my identity. All right. So whoever appreciates me, I'll make it rain. Because I'm YouTube CEO, and I should have enough money to make it rain eventually. It should be pretty funny. I'll definitely poke a lot of pockets and force the rain to happen regardless. I just feel like it's a cool concept. You know, when inflation happens, I kind of want money. So I'm just saying, it's a weird thing. Sometimes I want money when I really need it. You know, it's kind of weird. It's a very weird concept. You might not actually understand it, but you know. We're barely fucking making it. There's still more. It's ridiculous. There's so much more. Let me do a conclusion. I don't know. This 1 crown? Just 1 crown, right? Alright, that's fine. I'll make a conclusion and I'll do this. This is where we end. It's 2-hour mark. And there's no real reason to actually keep continuing, but what will I do afterwards? Well, I have to create a plan and execute a plan. Again, I will not be able to run out of ideas. This has served me for 1 month and 12 days, for 40 days. Probably 45 days. Let me double check here. This has been a deeper look into 35 items. It's crazy, bro. There's so much stuff to do. Even within my reach. The stuff that I already done, I still can do them multiple times until I master them, which is obvious. But it's so cool to actually acquire real skills where you're really actually doing something successfully. Just like you have to play a game for fun and not to actually win, because winning is an eternal fight. But when you trying to have fun, that's actually a very simple thing to do, and you don't have to do it for a long time either. And then you can share with the community very easily in case that community exists, which is still a problem. There's so many problems, guys. I'm in the middle of nowhere for some, but it is what it is. I'm on the edge of society because I'm probably the biggest dude in the universe, or the fastest growing person, maybe? You could say that. That would be probably accurate. Very fast growing person. So you probably get to stay in the shadows as long as you keep on growing. But the moment you stop growing, you gotta be desperate of somehow squeezing yourself into society, or just trolling yourself and squashing all the insects in your way. I don't know exactly. It's another very interesting stuff. Just exploring this as a whole is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Whatever Boredom just pulled out of its ass and delivered to me, I'll buy that, yes. You must do something. Have purpose. And most importantly, as I've said, the very first thing, pick a title, put it on your profile, your nickname, and your title. Whatever you want to be. And it will slowly pull you towards, realizing what your responsibilities are. Who are your rivals? Who are your friends? Who's gonna help? Title is everything, bro. It's fucking ridiculous, bro. And people don't even have good nicknames or avatars. Forget about title if you don't even have that. If you haven't even uploaded a single fucking TikTok, for fuck's sake. A TikTok. Can you do that one? I didn't upload a single TikTok because I don't have to. Because I can do YouTube still. I can do that one. I'm not stuck on my phone all the time, So, very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Focus on, yeah. So that's the conclusion, right? Yeah, let the magnet of life just pull you where you have to be with this special title that you have. And obviously, it has to be your hobby. Whatever your job is, that shit doesn't fucking matter. This is just for money grinding, for resource grinding. Enjoy it as best as you can, but you must understand what purpose it serves. Otherwise, I'll leave you guys with that. Do I have a vibe? I do not have a vibe, unfortunately. I am very dry right now. My pockets are empty. I could show a face, an emoji, but no, bro. Maybe. Interesting thought. Just like, I celebrate someone hitting 1,000 points. I could celebrate bullshit being just completed as a whole. But I'll just think about it. I'm not actually gonna pull that one. Because I'm making thumbnails anyways. And it's like, I'll have to make a good one this time. So why the fuck should I put one here? It makes no sense to me. See you guys next time. Don't be bored, but also avoid the other stuff. Especially ignorance, because I fucking hate that one. That one's annoying. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but for fuck's sake, I can't get any watch time. I can't squeeze any watch. Can someone see you guys next time? And you watch the whole thing, but you have to watch a lot more. A lot more. I want more watch time. More.